Hey everyone, it's Punchy, back with another weekly Deepwoken update. Overall, for this week, there's some solid quality of life improvements and new content to check out. Last week, there wasn't too much to break down with the release of the new Searing Snare mantra, but it was a new experience that forced us to innovate with our setup. As always, if you truly want that full experience, I recommend hopping in game and testing out everything new for yourself. Before we start, I have a channel announcement officially teasing my new Roblox UGC group. Starting out next week, I'll be periodically releasing new Roblox accessories that you can buy, so check it out. Peak is coming soon, and that's all I gotta say, so join up down below because it helps a lot. Anyway, as always, if you want exclusive update content just like this, make sure to like and subscribe. And without further delay, let's get right into it. Kicking off this update with a newly reworked critical, today we have an addition to an obsolete option that was slowly fading into obscurity. With the TANTO's new critical, hopefully this changes things up and saves them from the depths because it's kinda sad. Previously, the TANTO stood out for one reason and one reason only, and that was having great range. They gave the weapon a small chance in the changing meta, but it was heavily nerfed, leaving this thing with decent damage and the normal dagger critical. Luckily, this has changed with some new TANTO pressure fully reworking its critical attack. Instead of the triple slash, we strike forward with a delayed overhead cut that's sizably slower than other options. Applying bleed damage on hit, it might be decent for dealing damage and clipping players from range. For comparison, it performs pretty similar to the Purple Cloud critical without the delayed teleport. Overall, this is huge for the TANTO, and if you aren't sure about this, just remove its motif with the Smith's alloy. Dropping today was probably one of the best tools available in the entire game to learn how your build works. This is a whole new addition on top of the tutorial called Combat Training. Found on the starting screen, there's a whole new option, don't worry about the others, called Combat Training, and this is what we hit. Selecting this sends us into a familiar dungeon, which is meant to allow us the basics of learning combat and testing our builds further. For starters, let's talk about what's actually available. On the left-hand side of our screen, we're able to cycle through all of our starter weapons to understand how they work by clicking on them, resetting back to neutral, and even having the option to heal ourselves. Now, let's talk about how to set up our trainer. In the middle of the arena, there's a trainer that will adapt its gameplay based on your settings, as well as a great tool for build understanding. The training bags and guild bases were cool for showing off how damage works, but this can even show posture damage, which is new. Anyway, we can pick his weapon of choice, difficulty of the AI, and finally what actions it can actually take. After setting this up, we're ready to see what's available in combat and push new players even further by sparring. So if there was a place to improve new players, this would probably be it. Finally, onto some smaller changes but additions to Void Walking, we have accessibility and updates to nerf guild bases being uninvadable. First of all, it's possible to view all guild bases publicly on the map, so no more hiding, and you can also void walk 2 bases, which is kinda crazy. Overall, this update is really small, and that's all we get for content. Next up, with some balancing and bug fixes, we have a few big changes to highlight today. A huge one for lag optimization, we have a large-scale change to the ARDOUR murmur that makes things run a whole lot smoother. As far as gameplay is concerned, nothing here has actually changed besides game speed, but since everybody uses this option, lag should be reduced around the board. Moving further onto some build changes, we got a whole lot today concerning Jar of Souls. For starters, Jar of Souls hitbox is no longer the buggy, minuscule mess that it was before, increasing its horizontal range on the side. To balance out this adjustment though, its damage has been nerfed in a few different ways. The Jar of Souls burst shot variant has been sizably reduced in its damage, as well as a huge hit to the posture. The posture output was also being doubled with the single beam, which was unintended and fixed. Finally, its damage tick rate, or DPS, has been cut as well, which should reduce instant damage from this option, so overall it's easier to use but less effective for one-shots. To end off with Jar of Souls, move stacking this ability is gone forever, so you can't act inside the beam. Additionally, with a pretty major change to a classic Shadowcast mantra, we have a nerf and timing update to Clutching Shadow. Previously, this ability would bypass all sorts of dodges and hit players anyway, which was simply unfair to fight against. The hit timing wasn't actually messed up, but it was a visual problem that was solved today. Overall, it's still going to be spammy and decent to use, but it's no longer the worst thing to fight. And that's all for today's updates. Hop in game, drop into Battle Royale, and if you're lucky, you might run into my squad. Big thanks to everyone who supports the channel, it really means a lot. If you want more content, you can join up down below for updates or to reach out directly, that can be in my Discord. And if you're interested in running with my guild, the Apothecary, there's also a link too. Finally, join my UGC group because I'm dropping Peak next week. Big thanks as always for all the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe because 110k is the goal and we're getting there. Thanks again, I appreciate you all. It's punchin' time.